Right.
Well, talking about getting players to the Pelicans, in order to do that, you have to have a group of players that really promote the organization and what they're trying to do. And a lot of reports have been coming out about the Pelicans not kind of merging well together. There's some discontent. Some people are reporting that it's between Brandon Ingram and Steve Van Gundy. Some people are reporting that it's Stan Van Gundy. My bad, guys. I always do that. Stan Van Gundy and David Griffin. Um, Personally, I don't think that there's a ton of truth to that. I think that losing, people are always going to be frustrated, but I think it's the kind of thing that winning will cure. I don't think that it's, irreparable by any means.
I mean, no. I mean, there's probably is some element of truth of it because anytime something bad comes out about the New Orleans basketball organization, it always ends up being true.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say to that is, yeah, it's gotta suck because it's constantly losing, and I just feel like the players probably feel like there's no hope. A lot of that has to do with them probably being a little bit soft. They
Yeah.
have to want to win, they have to want to improve, and they need to start taking it a little more seriously. But I also agree. I mean, Zion is playing with James Johnson, Eric Bledsoe, Steven Adams. I mean, he's playing with he's playing it. So I can see
Yeah.
why he's frustrated. And that reverts on your GM, David Griffin. So David Griffin needs to right his wrongs of this last offseason because this last offseason was atrocious.
I agree. I think that it was a very bad offseason. I think there can be justifications for it. But looking back on it, besides the picks that we got, and maybe Steven Adams if he comes back next year and we find out how to work him in right. Besides that, I think Eric Bledsoe is just trade bait. Like, someone come buy him. You know what I mean?
All of them are.
Yeah.
Everybody that we brought
what
in
needs to
last
be done-
year. Everybody that we brought in last year. Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, all of them should be gone. There's no reason to keep them.
Especially on that contract extension that we gave Steven Adams. He's owed quite a lot of money.
Why did David Griffin extend Steven Adams when he didn't even know how he'd fit in with the team? He got him and then immediately extended him.
Well, I think it's because he didn't want to trade somebody and then get nothing in return. So I think that was just kind of like, let me at least sign him, and then we can trade him later if we're not going to use him. But at least in that first part, I kind of like keeping him because once you get rid of that, that's cap space gone. He's only signed for 2 years. So if things go terrible, I think it's 2 more years if I have that right. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that we are going to end up trading him. I think we got to wait through this offseason. Especially, I think we're definitely going to trade him, especially because of how well Jackson Hayes has developed. They came out with reports saying that he's going to play in the summer league, which I think is going to be good for him. I think he's going to become a leader kind of amongst the young guys. I just hope we don't trade him, man. I think that some teams are going to try to include him in that trade because he looks special. He looks really special.
No, I agree on that. I want to keep Jackson Hayes. But if you have to trade Jackson Hayes to get a superstar, you do it.
I agree.
I think what you do is you sit down Brandon Ingram and Zion, give them a pen and paper, and ask them to write down a top 5 at every position, and you try to get that done.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. And make them feel important.
Yeah, and then tell them to get on the phone with those guys because, I mean, the truth is that players are the ones who recruit in the NBA. GMs in them have all those restrictions about talking to players, but the Pelicans not the Pelicans, the players just go around that. The players don't care.
I mean, isn't that? I mean, it's illegal technically, right? Tampering.
But they do it.
Yeah, it is. And plus, even if they do get caught, it's like I think it's a small fine. So it's like, does LeBron James care about paying a $5,000 to $15,000 fine or whatever it is? His children won't eat McDonald's for a week or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's up to the players, and it's up to the GM too, though. So they all have to look at themselves in the mirror because I really do think this offseason is really the last chance for this organization to survive in New Orleans. I think if we botch this offseason, it's done. It's over.
I think it just depends on how egregious it is. I think that next year we're going to come out, and even if we have a similar team, I think we make the playoffs. I think we were like 3-11 in games with 3 points or less. So, a couple more baskets fall here and there. We make the playoffs. So I think that we're going to improve next year no matter what. It's just a question is, how much do we have to improve to keep those guys happy? Are they going to be happy with a play-in, or are they going to want to be like a 5th seed, which I think is a reasonable goal if we have a good offseason, is a 5th or 4th seed.
Well, you need to be a four-quarter team. You have to play. I mean,
yeah.
How many games were there this year where we lost double-digit leads?
Oh, a bunch.
It was.
I sent it in the group message not long ago. It was like a ridiculous stat.
It was like 14 so many. 15.
Yeah, and that was midway through the season. I feel like.